Scorpio rising. How you doing, Scorpio? So this is your reading for the Pisces new moon that's happening on the 27th or the 28th of February, depending on what part of the planet you're from. Here in the UK, it's happening about 1:45 in the morning on the 28th, so that will give you an idea of which day this new moon is showing up for you. My name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and as you just heard, and as you can see, I channel multi-dimensional energies through my body, both in the form of physical and vocal light language. This will happen throughout the reading, and it brings in healing, attunement, and activation codes to the messages that want to come through for you in this reading. So, I read for the rising signs. So for those of you who do not have Scorpio in the first house, look to what house it does fall in your natal chart. Look to the themes of that house, and you want to apply those themes along with all the other meaning you've got going on in the sign of Scorpio to the messages that want to come through. For example, I've got Scorpio in the 4th house, so I'd apply the themes of the 4th. I've also got Pluto, Vesta, my South Node, and Saturn there, so I'd apply all of that to the messages that come through, because it's as if that Scorpionic energy, wherever it falls, has now energetically moved to the 1st house. So the astrology for the rising sign will always still link in. You've just got to add on your own natal chart meaning on top of it. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So this reading is here to serve you in the Pisces area of your chart for the next 6 months. This is a new moon, so it's new, fresh energy coming in over everything that you've learned over the last year that's now integrated, and now we're working with new energy that's going to unfold until the Pisces full moon in Virgo season. So if you're watching this after the event, you are not missing any of the messages, any of the things that want to come through for you, my love. So Scorpio rising, where is this happening for you? This is happening in your 5th house, the house of joy. This is your creation energy. Everything I'm going to say stems from this, right? Pleasure, amusement, games, children, both literal children as well as figurative children, such as your inner child, creative things you birth into the world that feel like your children. You can also get a bit of addiction here because of that inner child and the wounds that it may have felt. It's also about romance, dating, and love, but the focal point really is creation energy, how you create in the world. Now I've done a collective reading where I've broken down the astrology of the exact moment of the new moon in way more detail, right, of how all the celestial bodies are talking to each other at the exact moment that form a harmonic blueprint. I'm only really going to be talking about the houses in these readings, so if you want a deeper understanding, pause this video, go watch the collective reading. It's always the first reading that goes out. Come back and then watch this, because that collective reading acts as a baseline to what's showing up here for you, my lovely Scorpios. All these oracle cards, I pulled them before doing the transit. I got the okay, and I'll be doing the oracle reading at the end of the All 12 Signs series. So before I continue, I'm doing things differently in terms of how I work with the tarot. I'm trying lots of different ways of divination and intuition, because the North Node in Pisces, we're here to go into new territory and play around with the fact that Source is communicating with us through all things, and we're learning to trust that. So I'm going to be shuffling this deck. I'm using a deck that isn't the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. It's the first time I've ever done that on this channel. This deck arrived for me yesterday, and it's the John Bauer Tarot, and it's giving me life, right? The images on it are very evocative, very imaginative, right? And it's more of the play rather than rigidity. And so I wanted to bring it in with the Pisces all 12 signs. And so I'm going to be shuffling this deck, and then when I finish talking about the astrology, I'm going to take 5 cards from the top of the deck when I finish shuffling. But there are cards that are going to pop out and jump, which is what I normally work with. And this is acting as the pre-shuffle, right? Sort of background information before we get to the full reading. And you got the Empress. And this is such a beautiful card. So, and the Empress is Venus, and Venus's favorite place to be is in the 5th house. So it's really highlighting this boost of your creation energy. So as I said, oracle reading will be the last one out, and I always leave these cards on the table so all this energy comes through. It's a very powerful message around, you know, speaking our truth and understanding the integrity of our own magic. So you have this new moon in your 5th house of your creation energy, right? So it's a real boost of that frequency. And remember, this is kind of closing out everything that you've learned over the last year, everything you've been integrating since the Pisces full moon last year, which happened to be an eclipse. This isn't an eclipse, by the way, even though the North Node, which is part of where we understand where eclipses are, is in the sign of Pisces. It's at the tail end of the degrees, whereas whereas this new moon is at 9 degrees and 40 minutes of Pisces. But it's still working with the eclipse vibe, right? It's like the preamble, the groundwork. So a very intentions you could set around this new moon of elevating your creation energy, your joy, your pleasure. So often we can funnel those into certain things. As I said, addiction can be here with the inner child. We can prioritize perhaps romance over finding our creative energy in other areas. It's not that romance isn't important. Connecting is very fundamental, but it's not necessarily everything, and we can prioritize that. Whereas what we really want to do is find that creative energy in every little thing that we do. Find that joy in every little thing that we do. And so setting intentions around elevating and integrating that sort of very magical synchronistic energy of Pisces into your creative energy, of finding the wisdom, finding the inspiration in the sort of liminal spaces, in the imaginative spaces. Got the Judgment card flying out as I say that, and the Judgment card is all about the releasing of old patterns, the releasing of old versions of ourselves that may have been stuck in that creation energy. The distortions. Got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse when I was talking about that stuck energy of really being able to manifest your long-term legacy when it comes to your creation energy, right? Having that joy and that pleasure at the center of your incarnation, and the blocks around that. You can set a new intention to do work around the more shadow side of it, of helping reveal to you any stuck energy here so you can integrate it and release it. If you've got a creative pursuit that you want to instigate, this can be a great new time to set the intention of being able to, you know, put the effort in to do the things that you need to do in order to facilitate that. Dolphin, got the devil at that one. And again, the sort of letting go of things that have had a hold over you. But the devil's also about manifesting in the 3D realm, and right, being able to bring that magic into the 3D. There's so much going on in Pisces at the moment. As I said, it's all in the collective reading, and I'm trying to keep these short because I've got an insanely busy week next week. And then so big energy. You're going to feel in the lead up a letting go of a lot of things that have limited how you connect to source, how you connect to the non-linear spaces. Now, Jupiter traditionally rules Pisces, and so Jupiter is influencing this moon, and Jupiter is over in the sign of Gemini, and Gemini for you is in your 8th house. And the 8th house represents it's the outside world's resources, and it's the exchange between you and anything other than yourself. So it can be mortgages, loans, debt, bonuses or commissions, inheritance, inheritance, both 3D or cosmic inheritance. So it's working with the resources of the outside world, as well as more one-off chunks of resources. It's not regular resources that's over in your second house. It's also relationship dynamics. It can, it's a give and exchange between you and anything other than yourself. Time, money, energy, intimacy, ideas. We can have scarcity complexes here, as well as codependency, hyper independence, and greed. That's when they're all out of balance. It's a very psychic house because it is your relationship dynamic with source, as well as the resources from source, and Jupiter's there influencing your creativity. And I can see a lot of abundant frequencies come through that is going to be funneled into the way that you create, and the way that you find pleasure, and the way that you find joy. I can see a releasing of old wounds around scarcity come through. We got the Empress as the first card in the pre-shuffle, and she's able to see the creativity, the fertility of life, enjoy the 3D world. And so often we've had experiences that limit that. Oh, thank you, that reminded me. So before I came and started recording, I've got like 3 decks stacked to the right of me, and they all fell on the floor, right? So this feels like a changing of the guard, a disruption of the old patterns, right? A really breaking up of stagnation. And really allowing a bit of chaos to come in order to bring things into balance, into the true way of perceiving your creation energy, right? So shaking up those old limiting beliefs. And that was coming through when I was talking about Jupiter in terms of your relationship with the outside world, your relationship with source. Jupiter brings a sense of elevation, a sense of abundance, a sense of faith, the bigger picture of it all. And so there's a real sense of soothing of those wounds that's allowing new neural pathways, new possibilities to come in. You're getting a lot of wisdom come in from source, your relationship with source, a lot of downloads, and all of this is influencing your creation energy. Say you've had difficult relationships in the past, whether you've given so much of yourself and not had it in return, or you've taken so much and never really given it back, right? Jupiter is really helping to make peace with that. That's allowing your creation energy to actually be in flow and actually be in balance. For some of you, this may see, because this is going to unfold over the next 6 months, you may see certain things come in that is going to give you, say it's resources, right? We can get really material about it. Resources come through that's going to give you more time to have fun and creativity and joy in your life. As well as the deeper wisdom around relationship dynamics. So you've had cycles of certain romantic relationships where, it's been distorted, right? This combination very much feels like an uplifting of that and a letting go of that kind of karmic cycle. But overall, the main thing I'm really getting is when you're in your sort of creation energy, you're going to get a lot of support from source to bring the wisdom of source and that heightened kind of relation, the co-creation energy into the way that you create, into the way that you find joy. Now, Mercury traditionally rules Gemini, and so Mercury is influencing Jupiter over in Gemini, which is therefore influencing the moon, and Mercury happens to be in Pisces, right? So this is what's called mutual reception. These two are in each other's realms. They're essentially psychically hotlined with each other. They're facilitating each other's journeys. They're supporting each other. There's a real close bond between these two signs, these two rulers. And they're governing the whole chart, right? Not just where the moon is. They're governing all the other signs because all the other planets are in signs that lead back to either Mercury or Jupiter. And so this is our capacity to perceive the bigger picture in the small details in our reality. And so with that 8th house fifth house, it's like you're going to, through the creative outlet, through finding joy and pleasure, you're going to see the bigger perspective of source in the little things. And that's going to really build and build and build and build and build. And really help you understand what brings you pleasure, what brings you joy. At a deeper level. Got the Eight of Swords. Leaving behind limiting beliefs. And the Eight of Swords happens to be a Jupiter in Gemini card. Right, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Di shinima. Di shanimoto ela. Di shanimoto shanima. Diana. We're also going to get a couple of cards from 2 different oracle decks when we finish up with the tarot. So first up, at the center is the core intention of this new moon, the unfolding of the next 6 months, right? And so you can apply this core intention to whatever personal relationship that you have with this 5th house and what's going on with you, whether it can be linked into romance, to your inner child, to children in general, or more creative outlets. We have here, this is going to be what's being released in the lead up to this new moon cycle that you're closing out. Here is the root energy of this core intention, the crown, and then we have a card of how to work with this intention. Right, let's see what we've got. We have the 10 of Swords. Now, I'm really enjoying using this deck. This deck brings me so much. It turned up yesterday. It's bringing me so much life. And because the images are helping us connect to a frequency that is, again, it is more of the imagination. It's like, what are we intuitively connecting to with this, rather than the Rider-Waite-Smith, which I love using. I really, really do. It has its place, but I've just felt very cool to bring this deck through. So we have the 10 of Swords, and this kind of looks like Odin, right? Because we've got the 2 crows here. And the wisdom, right, of having gone, Odin sort of sacrificed part of itself in order to connect closer to source, to receive divination. And it feels like you have gone on a long journey around your mental state, right? So often our joy, our creativity can be sucked away by the mind. And you have learned so much in this process. And the wisdom, I can't remember what the ravens represent. I think one of them is memory. Let me just pause and Google that. Yeah, one of them is memory and the other is thought. And so this feels like that this is the intention. You're stepping into such a clarity of wisdom within yourself that is linked to the past, but this awareness of the need to have this clarity of thought that is taken the wisdom from the past, but it isn't beholden to it, because all I want to talk about is this rainbow, right? The light body, the rainbow bridge that this figure is going to walk over, right? And so this is really getting you into your light body with the wisdom of your experiences. And so often we can hold a lot of trauma in the 5th house. The inner child is there. And it's the mind, it's these swords, it's the perceptions and constructs that we have that is turning into a lightness of being, is the sort of the magic of it all, the wish at the end of the rainbow, and that your capacity, if you think of the creative outlet as well, of playing with all the colors now. So it's really honoring perhaps the difficult journey that you've been on and the wisdom that you've gained from that. And now that you're shifting into a new karmic cycle around your capacity to walk with all the colors of the rainbow, with all the understandings of your creation energy that is powered up by your wisdom. Right, so what cycle is being closed out? Oh, that's fascinating, because Pisces got this card in the exact same position. We have the Hermit. right? This is the deep inner wisdom. The hermit goes within to find its own understanding, right? So it's this real sense of not externalizing your wisdom, not seeking wisdom from the outside world, not conforming to what everybody else is thinking and doing, is bringing that wisdom within in order to bring about illumination in the mind, right? So we've got a connection here to the mind with the sword energy, and you see all this nature, this fertility here with this illumination. So you've gone through a cycle of really recalibrating your internal world when it comes to what does your creativity mean to you, and not through your old experiences, not the conditioning of expecting things to repeat over and over again, but a real deepening of your inner wisdom and the light body that you've been activating that is then coming through very strongly with this rainbow. So it's really saying you've done a great deal of deep healing within yourself, you know, of finding a deeper connection to your inner intuition, your inner wisdom, and hearing messages and communicating energetically with your environment, right? The hermit's gone into the wood, it's stilled its body, it's stilled its nervous system, so it's able to hear the deeper rumblings from the earth mother. That is, again, there's a lot of wisdom here, but there's a lightness of being, right? That you've had to go through this cycle of very grounded energy, because Virgo is an earth sign, and this reassessing, this observing of the old patterns and who you want to be, and how you want to bring that out in the world. And then this 10 of Swords walking across that rainbow. I'm here for it. Scorpio of you know, the Scorpio energy, it holds on to that darkness, and the power within it is to bring that light with the darkness and work together with that polarity. But that darkness is the void where all creation is possible. And what this feels like is you're shifting away from the expectations of things repeating in the same way. Remember, 10 is a closing out of a cycle that then leads to a new adventure. And bringing all of that with you, but not letting it govern you in the moment and where you're moving forward. Now, at the root, we got the 3 of Pentacles. I've not seen this card yet. This is, look at the power of all these mountains. I love this figure. It's holding a child, right? And so there's this, can we get this into zoom? Where are we? Doop. Right. Can we zoom in? Maybe I need to sort out my camera. There we go. Cool. Right, let me just sort that out. I'll cut the head off. Let me pause and sort this out. Sorry, Scorpio. So a rejigging of focus, of coming into focus. You see here, this figure is holding a child, and I was talking about the inner child being there, and that inner child is illuminated and in this beautiful light, and is being very protected and nurtured and loved, right? And there's just, I'm just feeling, you know, and look at the color of the robe. It is the color of the sacral chakra, which is our creation energy. So this feels, and this is not gender specific, sex specific with this feminine energy, but we are dealing with Pisces, which is yin. So there's a real sense of a recalibration of your creation energy, where that inner child can come out, that play, that joy can come out, and really feel supported and loved. This figure is wearing a crown, which represents sovereignty of your own energy, your own creation energy. We've got these figures that are coming towards them, right? Rather than you having to claw at the outside world for the joy and the pleasure. It now, you through this sense of self, right, that's coming up, and, you know, with the mountains of this very grounded, stable energy. It's pentacles. Of the 3 is the magic number. It actually brings a lot of stability. But it's these things, this is kind of reminding me of High Priestess energy. But things are coming towards you rather than you have to run around and scrabble out in the world for that joy, for that pleasure. There is something, this is the root energy radiating within you that is then drawing towards you opportunities, experiences, engagement with your creation energy, with the outside world. In the traditional Rider-Waite, the 3 of Pentacles represents mastery of self, right? And so this is a mastery of your own creation energy. At the crown, we have the 2 of Swords. Okay, that's also interesting because this came up for Cancer. So you've got a card from Pisces and a card from Cancer. And this figure, right, snakes are representations, they are tools of different polarities, and this card very much feels like the slaying of things that have had a bind over you, right? As I said, we can have a lot of addiction, we can have a lot of distorted love languages in the 5th house, and this figure, this 2 of Swords figure is raising that sword up, ready to, vanquish this snake. And obviously the North and South node are called the head and tail of the dragon, and dragons are an advancement of our understanding of the serpent. And this serpent has come out from the forest, right, of feeling lost in the forest, and now you have the strength and the will to, and this figure doesn't feel like they're scared, they're game for it, they're up for it, of banishing and vanquishing the sort of the trauma responses, the limiting beliefs, the things that have stopped you from finding your joy. This is going on in the crown, so I can see a lot of releases happening over the next 6 months that is just your sword of truth. You're going to be able to see very clearly what is not serving you anymore, and be able to just go, not anymore. So we've got this this is kind of incorporating the card in the middle, right, which has this sort of more somber wisdom energy of all the experiences, as well as the liberating lighter energy of the rainbow, which I feel is coming in very strongly here, of being able to work with all the different frequencies and all the different play and possibilities in your life, coming from a very powerful sacral chakra, right? And that with the wisdom, you're able to understand what is the sort of, this sort of more negative polarity of the snake image is just a master teacher to help us be able to make the choice of, no, that doesn't actually serve me. So there's this polarity here that you're working with that's very powerful, and obviously the scorpionic nature is very good at working with those sorts of energies. But I feel a real lightness here, and a lovely lightness here of, it's not going to be difficult. It's going to be straightforward, it's going to be clear. You've got 2 swords showing up, bringing in the Jupiterian energy of relationship dynamics, of ideas that don't serve you, the scarcity mindset, the fear mindset, and all of that releasing here in the crown is pulling this energy to the root of strengthening of your passions, right, of your creation energy, your pleasure, your joy. Right, how to work with this energy. Shut up. We've got the Empress. Fertility, creation energy, pleasure in the moment, pleasure in your incarnation. Beautiful. Venus energy. So this is where you tap in, right? Is to slow yourself down, find the joy in the little things, Get out of the big head pictures and zoom in to your fertile, abundant nature. Find room for play, for creativity, for this nurturing energy of the Empress as well. She's about to give birth to something. So there's this real sense. Look how at peace she is in her environment and the stillness of the pool. She's got a little bird on her hand of receiving the messages from Source and allowing it to regulate her nervous system in this very magical environment that she's in, right? This is really getting you to center in yourself, in your creation energy, in your pleasure, in your joy. I can't get over that. I can't get over that. You might want to look to where your Venus is in your natal chart as well. That might help, really bring in that, Empress energy. But they're wanting you to focus on the blessings of existence, right? And sometimes that can be really hard. And so with that, I would say a lot of the time, if I'm in a not great place, my affirmations of gratitude will be, I am grateful for my breath. I am grateful for my heartbeat. I am grateful for the roof over my head. So those are some of the things that you can kind of bring in to help cultivate this sense of peace in the abundant nature of your incarnation, right? Which can be difficult for all of us. You might want to get into nature and start seeing what the animals, what the creatures have to say to you. What whispers or messages do they want to say? Perhaps you'll get inspiration of a creative pursuit when you're looking at nature, when you're being in stillness. Maybe a meditation and focus on like an abundance meditation, an Empress meditation. Okay, they probably wanted me to do the other deck. Yeah, that one just came flying out. I cannot believe, I can. Oh, the energy of this moon, the magical reality. Yeah, they're wanting you to cultivate. Yeah. That's so in alignment with the 5th house. And even though you've learned a lot, you have a lot of wisdom, you may have gone through some difficult times, they're really wanting you to focus on walking over that rainbow bridge, embodying the rainbow light body, and that every act that we do is an act of creation. And that's slowing down that stillness and listening to the beating of your heart, listening to what your heart wants to tell you, what your creation energy wants to tell you. Okay. Oh no, that's too many. Just gonna get one more card from Rainbow Brainskull, and we'll do the. Oh, I can't get over this. Scorpio, itinama. Oh, there we go. Itana. Okay. So, Jinima. Okay. So, let's get the book open. I feel really high vibe. I feel really big energy during your reading. There is a little restriction around the heart, so this might be a good thing to do over the next 6 months, is to get into your stillness, see if there's any restrictions, and allow the gentle care, the nurturing energy of the Empress to help heal that for you. So from Rainbow Brainskull, we have I am brand new, plus teenage me, plus childhood me, plus baby me, plus source. Now this is really tying in that I find the inner child is in the 5th house. Right, and also, our first loves really imprint on us, right, of the teenage me, but at the root of it is source. And that I love that I am brand new, this fresh new energy that's coming in and that ties in with this of the wisdom of the past, but it's not stopping you from walking along that rainbow bridge, right, of the new experiences of life. Every past experience is still inside you. Don't yearn for the past as if it's gone. Appreciate your memories as what they truly are, an integrated part of your internal being. Itala di shalama otoela di anima, otofi anima di eshinima. And then you have crown chakra. So this is at the top of your head. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. So that is totally in alignment with this middle row. The flower of life is a geometric shape recognized by many cultures all over the planet. It consists of 13 equal circles that intersect at the middle of each circle, creating a perfectly proportioned flower. As a symbol, the flower of life represents the universe as a whole, as well as the harmony in which all the separate components of the universe work together. This beautiful pattern is often used to indicate our understanding of the connection as humans and as spiritual beings to the whole. The colour violet is associated with the 7th or crown chakra. Located on the top of the head, it is associated with our personal spiritual connection to the universe and source. And so this is tying in that 8th house energy. It's a very psychic house, all funneling and influencing. There's a feedback loop between your creation energy. The amount of messages I was getting about, particularly around art, right, of our imagination and like painting coming to life, artistic pursuits coming to life. So I feel like it's linked into this, and you're getting a higher spiritual connection of the inspiration of how you create and manifest from that space, and it genuinely showing up in your actual life, which is wild. Violet has the highest frequency in the visible spectrum of light and is therefore linked into the flame of transmutation, the violet flame, which burns away all negativity and transmutes it into light. Shut the front door on the way out, Source. You are a cosmic joke in the best possible way. This is wild. Violet is the colour of cleansing, purification, magic, mystery, and mysticism. Our sense of empathy and unity are associated with this chakra. Try this. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath. Now get into the thought and feeling that you are infinitely connected to the wisdom of the universe. Do you spend time regularly connecting to source? Do you do some type of meditation? I'd say getting into nature will really help with that. Make time to get out of your mind on a regular basis to expand your awareness. Scorpio, that was wild. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated. If it did, hit that like button. Leave me a comment. How is that North Node in Pisces working for you? I'm here for it. I'm loving that energy. If you didn't catch the Pisces, North Node, Virgo, South Node transit series, I cannot recommend it enough. Very powerful tools came through of how to work with the energy of 2025 and 2026. It's in its own playlist. I think I just said that. So very easy to find. Other than that, Scorpio, my loves, be good to yourselves. Be good to those around you. Safe travels and be well until we meet again.